All right, welcome back to my FX Buddies, the podcast. Oh no, what happened to my? There we go. And it is a Mother's Day edition. Happy Mother's Day. I don't know if that's a real cake, but it's beautiful. But I could see it. I could see it being a real cake. Anyway, so for those of you who are mothers, I hope you had an excellent day. All right, so now let's get into it. The intro. My FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there's other mediums in which you can get this information. There's rss.com, which provides a wonderful transcript. Rumble, Spotify.com has audio and visual depending on your level. What else? YouTube, anything I show and cover on YouTube is covered under the Fair Use Disclaimer Act because it's for sharing, critiquing, teaching, commenting, and it falls under the Fair Use Disclaimer Act. What else? That's all I can remember. Amazon, podcast, Apple, all of that. Wherever I post under my FX Buddies, and you can find me there. All right. So, also, wherever you listen, the blog. The blog. How could I forget? My favorite place for you to go is myfxbuddies.blogspot.com, and I know that's a lot to remember or type in. So wherever you're listening or watching, look for a more open info, intro, description, something of that nature. Click on that prompt and there'll be a link directly to the blog, which is free. You don't even have to put in your email address. And I had an idea today. ChatGPT makes excellent summaries of articles. And I was thinking possibly I might start including on certain articles that are important. Like I'll use an example of one today. I might put an AI summary, just the words, not that recording thing that I did. That's just too much work. But just saying, hey, ChatGPT, pull the, you know, most pertinent parts of this and whatever, and then just pop it on the blog. That's the only place you would be able to see it is the blog, right? So I might do that. Let me know in the comments if I did that. Would you read it or would I be wasting my time? Because I don't like wasting anyone's time, right? But I do know there's people that go to the blog to read the art because they want to read the whole thing. But which I encourage because I only pick out the parts that I like, right? And there's other parts that maybe you would like. But anyway, so I was thinking about doing that. Okay, let's see. Um, all right, we'll get into it. So I didn't post yesterday because there was only like 4 articles and they weren't really, you know, anything exciting. So today, cooperation between Iraq and the IMF. Now, back in the day, we would get so excited about an article like this, right? But now it's like, again, what are they cooperating on now, right? But I will say, it's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen that. And it's another one of these short little ones. Look, it's not even an article. It's statements, which is not common. So I guess these are the ways that there's cooperation between Iraq and the IMF. Contracting with consulting firms to support the public debt department. The IMF Fund has expressed its readiness to provide technical and advisory support to Iraq in the following areas: new staff with higher education degrees to do stuff, determining the most appropriate tax system for the Iraqi social situation. I still think they should wait 2 years. I mean, not that it matters what I think, but I just put it out there. The people are just going to be getting used to working and budgeting and buying stuff on credit. I hope they don't, but they hit them really hard with loan payment plan, and they make it sound so good. But anyway, I think they should give them a 2 year reprieve. Let them get used to having money, then tax them. But whatever. Determining the most appropriate. Okay, I just read that. Iraq and the IMF agreed to strengthen relations with foreign correspondent banks in the field of foreign trade financing. So that they're doing now. That's how they get dollars, move dollars through international systems, supposedly with no smuggling, right? And this last one. An agreement was reached to support the use of the Iraqi dinar in economic transactions to maintain the stability of the local currency. So does that mean they weren't doing that all along? That's how I read that, right? But what do I know? But now they're ready. Now they're ready to support them to use their own currency, which, hey, maybe this time is it. Maybe this is it. All right, let's see. The U.S. Embassy, the participation of an Iraqi delegation in an annual investment summit. And I have this here. It's even on Twitter. Oh, they tweeted about it. So it's a big deal. SelectUSA Investment Summit, May 11th to the 14th. And here it says they announced, but just a bunch of them are going over there to look at investment opportunities across the American economy. So we went over there last month, right? We had top business people go over there. Now they're coming over here. All right. So if I could get that on there, right, I will, but whatever. Okay. They'll probably have more news about it when it happens. Now, of course, I laughed when this came out because we know this. I don't know why they have to come out and tell us this. And isn't that just so ugly? That, and look at that. From that ugliness comes so many beautiful things, right? Money, the ideas that come, and the things that they make, and wow. Anyway, I know I went there. I didn't have to. Okay, Ministry of Oil. Iraq is floating on a large and inexhaustible oil and gas reservoir. Who didn't know that? But for some reason, there's some reason they're putting it out. And, oil people could read this. It's here. And then also, there was something that would go along with this, but it was something about there's some gas pipeline they're making, and the first phase is done, and they're moving on to the second phase. But that has nothing to do with the army, right? So maybe tomorrow, if there's not a lot of news, but I think there's going to be a lot of news tomorrow. I'll put that there, but just a side note. Okay, Saturday, the Parliamentary Legal Committee. The Parliamentary Legal Committee obliges the government to send budget tables. Yeah, right. They're saying, hey, you have time. You got time to do it before the end of May. But Sudani's already busy. They're already in this Arab Summit mode. The first group of delegates came today. They got to view the hotel, the meeting room. It's like an auditorium, probably not what they call it, but so he took them all around. Yeah, they already did. They did the Council of Ministers meeting that would be done on Tuesday. They did that today. So, yeah. Anyway, they're not thinking about that. Okay, this is interesting. Earlier in the month, there was in Iraq's news, there was an article about Russia Russia, if you travel to visit Russia, you can get a digital card. So instead of buying physical rubles, you can put them on a card, right? That you swipe. And I was like, why are they showing this why is this in Iraq's news? And now I know why. The International Development Bank launches the Arab Tourist Card. Let me make that a little bigger. The IDB, which is what I call it, announced on Saturday the launch of the Arab Tourist Card in partnership with the Visit Iraq platform to facilitate financial transactions for Arab tourists. Now, are they the only bank? Possibly, because look at this article. Limited Cards Development Bank loses international trust, and revoking its license reveals hidden truth. So they go on and talk about there was something to do with their license for international transactions. But they can do local and limited interest cards. So I guess maybe to try to help them make up the money, right? Because it's always about the money. They can issue and back these cards, which is, I think, will be used because they're trying to make Iraq like the number one place to tour in the Arab world and all this stuff. All right, and this came out yesterday. CBI, Iraq sees drop in foreign assets, domestic debt, but it was so small. Who cares? And if they would get back to, if they would do the RV, like, I presume the whole world, I know the whole world knows. That article that said the UN and 18 other countries went to Iraq, that lets me know it is truly a world event. All right. So, yeah. All right. So these are the rest of the articles for today, and I just wanted to show you. Here's another person saying, "Yeah, you could get the budget schedules done by the end of May." So they really want it done. I believe they do. And so the Arab Summit ends on the 17th, right? So that gives them a good amount of days to get it done, but we'll see. And then they threw in 2 holidays. May 13th, May 15th, and the 18th are now holidays. I don't, yeah, but it doesn't have anything to do with us, but for them. So they need to know what's closed, traffic routes. It's a big deal. Plus, with all the delegation, what did we call it? Dignitaries? With all the dignitaries in town, I'm sure it will affect their traffic routes. So yeah, again, they're saying it could be done. All right, there was a lot of this in the news. The Central Bank of Iraq explains the reason for the rise of the dinar against the dollar, and nothing new. Let's see. There's one that I do want to go over though. The central bank governor explained the reason. The deputy governor said in a statement, yeah, so they're saying it's because of the hard work that we've done, the monetary policies. They do say there's less demand on the dollar at the parallel market rate. So, they give all of the same reasons. And I'm not, this was, it was even in the Kurdish news. So, pretty much the same article, but this is Baghdad's article and this is the Kurdish article. So, they're on, it's a little bit longer, it has a little more details, but they're on the same page. That's what I like. And that's why I wanted you to see both, even though they're one Iraq, right? They're both on the same page. I put that article in twice. So, All right, buy me a coffee. Thank you to those who have. Thank you for the Mother's Day gifts I was given. I appreciate it. That's a live link when you go to the live blog, and then there's the QR code. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, now pay attention. And I'm sure I'm the only one out there who's going to be saying this. So Nasari, we know who he is, right? He's the really smart man with all the experience. Our dinar continues to recover until it reaches the official price. What is the official price? 13.10. The official price currently, right now, is 13.10. That's what's on the CBI. However, when they do business, like sell dollars, they do it at 13.20. There's a reason I'm explaining this. Okay, so that's a difference of 10 dinars, right? Okay. Economic and banking advisor Samir al-Nusari confirmed on Sunday that the Iraqi dinar has been gradually recovering for several weeks due to internal and external reasons that have directly impacted control fluctuations. I'm hearing a noise, but I don't know what's making that noise. Anyway, I hope you don't hear it. All right, I apologize. External reasons that have directly impacted controlling fluctuations in the US dollar exchange rate, regardless of the many reasons that led to its decline, and it is reaching 10 cents after the difference between the official and parallel rates had been 20 cents for a long period. I do not believe this is supposed to be cents. We don't want it to be cents. We don't, I know some of you be like, I take 10 cents. No, we don't want that. I don't think that's what it's talking about. I think it's talking about 13.10 and 13.20. But you believe whatever you want to believe, okay? All right. So Nasari pointed out that the main reason for the recovery is the reform policies. The CBI and the government in reforming the processes of regulating foreign trade, compliance with international standards, and regularity in the global financial system, as well as the new mechanisms for foreign transfers, which we know they're already doing, right? And they're doing that with more than 20 Iraqi banks. So you could read the rest of this, but they're really not saying too much that already hasn't been said. Nasari bet on the Iraqi dinar's continued recovery through 2025 following the completion of the banking reform project's objectives and the Central Bank of Iraq's third strategy. He also noted that the government will continue implementing its reform and investment programs, attracting more foreign and Arab investments to the country, which have exceeded 88 billion, blah, 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 right? And they've reduced inflation to 2.8%. Okay. All right. Next article. So that was good, right? It's good, really. So it's really not anything new except people are going to get excited because he said 10 cents. And like I said, I don't think that's what it means. Okay. Banks and investment. The Iraqi economy, this is another guy that's smart. I think he's a PhD as well. Anyway, the Iraqi economy is currently witnessing a significant focus on investment as an effective tool for stimulating economic growth, enhancing financial stability, and diversifying sources of income. All the things that the World Bank and the IMF have been asking them to do. This trend is part of a strategic vision aimed at strengthening the role of the banking sector as a key partner in supporting investment projects, whether through financing or specialized banking services. So you could read that if you'd like. He gave an example of what Sudani's doing. He reached out to the U.S. Treasury trying to get the sanctions off, you know. stuff like that. It seems there was an Islamic bank that got caught trying to go around the new way to do business, and he immediately stopped it and went and talked to them. That's not in this article, but it was in another one that I read. Dealing in local currency and developing flexible mechanisms to support sanctioned banks without violating legislation. So, yeah, there's more there if you'd like to read that. But like I said, he's very intelligent, hence the long articles. All right? Okay. Um, Let me see. Are we almost done? We have a little bit more. Monetary policy raises the value of the dinar and reduces reliance on the parallel market. And that is what we want. And I believe this is the most current image of the CBI building. I believe it is done. Okay? Because sometimes they'll show it and it's not done. And then sometimes it looks like it's computer imagery. So, but I believe it is done. All right? The Iraqi dinar has recently recorded strong performance against the dollar, driven by a series of monetary measures adopted by the central bank, which have contributed to reducing demand for hard currency in the parallel market and enhancing the confidence of traders in official channels. So that's good. Again, oh, but look at this. This is what I wanted. The deputy governor of the Central Bank of Kuwait. Yes, Kuwait. Because sometimes I mix up Kurdistan and Kuwait, and you guys catch it and correct me. But there he is, Amar Hamad, confirmed that this increase reflects the success of the monetary policy pursued by the bank in reducing reliance on the parallel market and providing safe and transparent sources of financing for trade. He explained that this policy has enabled the commercial family to obtain dollars through official channels that adhere to international standards without having to resort to the unregulated or parallel market. So this is the CBI governor of Kuwait singing the praises of the value of the dinar, Iraqi dinar, increasing. And I read this and I was like, wait, is he talking about his dinar? But no, it says right here, the Iraqi dinar and the Central Bank of Kuwait with his name there. So I think that's pretty strong. Pretty strong. All right. Then let's see. This happened. Oh, matter of fact, we are really almost done. Okay. The Iraq. Oh, okay, before I forget, I wanted to show you. I'm not going to post this, but I think this is hilarious. So there had been back and forth. Remember, Sadani was like, I still need the gas from Iran so we can get through the summer. And we were like, no. And he asked one more time. I'm asking you one more time. Can you just give us this waiver one more time? And let's see. It was conditional. I provided that. Wait, let me go official. Official. Oh, FFICI. Here. So, the sources told this news place, Prime Minister Sadani indirectly obtained Trump's approval for the continuation of the Iranian gas supplies to Iraq, but without an official announcement. So, of course, right? Of course, he's not gonna say, yeah, I backed down off of the hard no, right? Right. But yeah, that will be good if it's true, right? I mean, I believe that it is, though, because there are a couple of not military, members of parliament who have said, well, don't worry about, we're going to have electricity because we're still getting the gas from Iran, which they're probably not supposed to be saying, but they are. So I just wanted to show you that. Okay, so now this meeting, I believe, happened earlier in the week, but they didn't have all these details. I think when it came out, because I was like, why would the CBI governor go to the president? Why wouldn't he go to the CBI governor? But whatever. So this statement here is off the Iraqi president's website. So if you'd like to read that, but it doesn't really say anything, just they are doing a good job. The meeting focused on the central bank's ongoing efforts to modernize the banking system, address current and economic challenges, and stabilize the local market, which with my Dinar goggles on, I think you could replace market with currency, right? Stabilize the local currency? They agreed on the need for a robust financial framework to drive sustainable development and long-term growth. So it was a good meeting, right? So yeah. The meeting highlighted the importance of continued cooperation between the government and the central bank in driving Iraq's economic transformation and ensuring prosperity for its people. Okay, so we are running out of time. But this article, it seems this may be a reprint. It seems very familiar to me. But it is dated yesterday. It's in a few places with the same wording, same images. So I don't know. But if you'd like to read it, you can. Hoarded wealth, frozen economy. Iraq's hidden cash crisis deepens. So, in a country long battered by war, corruption, and economic volatility, a new crisis is quietly suffocating Iraq's prospects for recovery. The nation's wealth is being locked away behind household doors. Let's see. A sign that Iraqis are overwhelmingly choosing to hoard their savings at home rather than invest or deposit them. And the roots of this behavior runs deep. So even the young people, Ahmed Allah, is that how you say that? I don't know. He's a young Iraqi. He shared his own story. He saved an amount of money. He tried investing in car trade, and he was defrauded. And then they have another story of another guy. So you could read that if you like, but it, like I said, it seems very familiar to me. But it was out. And so here, what does the success of the Arab Summit in Baghdad mean? This is what Iraq will reap. It'll just confirm them as the big dog, right? That they're back in their top spot, that they can handle everything, anything that's thrown at them. The Baghdad Summit will be politically and protocol based and will discuss key issues, most notably halting the aggression on one of those places I don't say, and the withdrawal of Ice Cream Land occupation from this other place that starts with an S. He emphasized that Iraq is now playing an effective diplomatic role that strengthens its presence in the Arab arena. So yeah, it's going to be so great for them. I hope it goes off without a hitch. All right, these last two have to do with the talks. So if you'd like to read those, you can. All right, they seem to be good. They were tough. See, difficult. This is from Iran's point of view. I saw that guy talking Witkoff, but I don't know what he was saying. And the other one, I can't think of his name either. But these two articles are written from uh, Tehran's point of view. Okay? All right. Yeah, so that's it. Then here is on the live blog, if you missed the last episode, it'll be at the bottom. All right, so thank you. So I'm excited about this week. I don't think they would do the RV when they have all those dignitaries in their country. You never know, though. But yeah, I'm just excited to see if it gets under 1410, if it gets 1390, then what? Then what? All right, but whatever, I'll be here to report the articles. So thank you. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. Wherever you are listening, if there's a like, join, subscribe, follow, star, whatever, click that, activate that, because I don't post regularly. So that way, if you are connected and if technology works like it's supposed to, when I update, you'll be notified. All right, enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are listening in. And until next time.